Skibidi Toilet 76 Part 1. We're gonna react to the original video itself and the breakdown from Elite Cameraman. That is somehow 19 minutes from a 3-minute video. I don't understand, but let's get to it. Shout out to Mr. Boom here. And shout out to Elite Cameraman as well. I don't know how he got 19 minutes from this, but we're gonna figure it out. Hey, yo, this is a war, by the way. Absolute war in the beginning of this video. Ooh, big fella. Okay, they gotta be saying something. I don't know what they're saying, but... What was that? Oh, never mind. We got them things on us. Didn't need to use them. Beautiful. Oh, he had the armor, though. He had that armor. Somebody's gonna destroy you from over there. You already knew. You already knew. Woo-hoo. I thought he was on our team. Oh, he is on our buddy. Came in with the whip with the family. Let's go. I like this little alliance we got going on right now. I like that. I don't know either, man. I'm just kind of going with it. I don't know. Is that guy in a wheelchair? Did you see that guy? What's he doing in the fight? Shout out to him. He's not letting anything stop him. I respect it. Kind of look like an Iron Man mask there. Oh. Oh. I like that weapon. What is that weapon? Dang, I mean, you should have shot it, buddy. What did he say? He said goodbye? The normal ones are starting to talk now. What? Actual talk, not backwards talk. There was some backwards talk in the beginning, though. I'm sure he's going to cover that. If you guys haven't yet, by the way, scroll down for me. Hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 800,000 subscribers. I love you guys. Let's go. Dang. They do kind of resemble the Iron Man toilet. What? The upgraded camera Titan thingy? The camera spider? He's back, bro. How long's it been since we've seen this thing? He's gotten some upgrades. The upgraded camera spider. Ooh! Thumbs up all around. That was beautiful.
Hello, everyone.
All right.
Elite Cameraman
Now
here,
we've got
episode
Elite Cameraman
76.
with the breakdown.
Part 1 finally arrived, and it felt like an actual unhinged war has been going on ever since the events of episode 74.
That's what I said. Absolute
This episode
chaos.
also shows us a lot more of the new companionship that was formed between the toilets and the Alliance in a very chaotic manner.
Very true.
But that's not all, because most of you would think that this episode probably didn't have much that was important for the lore. And that's where you'd be mistaken, because we are slowly learning more about the Astros.
Okay, so maybe that's how there's 19
It feels like we are getting
here.
closer to learn about their actual origins, which I'll talk about later in the video. But more importantly, the fricking chair is back, as we saw in the leaks.
The
and
chair?
It's weird. Really, really weird.
The office
I think
chair,
the chair
gaming
glazers
chair
will
looking
win
thing?
the fight against the non-chair believers, because this episode
even
literally
see
shows
that.
that we were right, and there is no way people can deny us now.
I was kind of
It also
looking
feels
for
like
it
an
too, to be
episode
honest
that we'd
with you, but I
see
couldn't
Secret
find it.
Agent in, but so far, I haven't been able to see him after watching it like 10 times and going frame by frame. If
Okay,
he
no
does
Secret
appear and I
Agent.
do catch him somewhere, I'll make sure to showcase it in the video. There is also the fact that this episode right now is only a part 1, and
That's
it's already
true.
3 minutes long, and it's the episode before the most awaited episode, 77. People already know that something big
77.
will happen in episode 77 because
Why,
so
though?
far some of the biggest events have happened on episode 47, 57, and 67. While
Okay.
also Boom did say
It makes
himself
sense.
that he was hyped for episode 77, so it's likely that the full
Well, that
version of
makes it better
episode
then.
66 will be the lead up to Titan Cameraman's fate, which we'll see in episode 77.
Titan Cameraman,
Also,
bro.
I actually got food poisoning a couple days ago, and even though overall my health is
Sorry
back
to
to
hear
normal,
that, brother.
my body still feels tired, so if today's script sounds a little goofy, sometimes please excuse me for it. If I do miss anything, I'll make sure to make a second video on it in a couple days. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to not miss it.
Hit that
Anyways,
like button,
here
hit
we
that
go.
subscribe button, guys.
The episode starts with a scene we actually have never seen before. We see toilets shooting rockets and lasers, but this attack force is actually crazy. We even got the upgraded ding-dong long leg strider. It's crazy because even with this much firepower, they barely break one of his laser cannons and some of his shields, and the thing that kills the Astro blood is one of the goofiest toilets I've ever seen. Because of the Skibidi toilet's distracting attacks, the Astro stops caring about his surroundings, and out of nowhere, a god Superman toilet shows up to explode inside him to kill the Astro.
Hey, pause,
yes, you heard me right, a Superman toilet.
Superman
if you look
toilet,
carefully, Blood literally has the face of Superman, and his toilet being purple
he does. He's got
makes
the
it feel like a
down.
Joker reference.
I like that.
If you watch carefully, you'll see that this toilet was definitely a toxic bomb, and maybe Blood had the Joker's laughing gas. Because Blood went crazy after he was attacked and died after crashing down when the toilets attacked him right on the head.
I like that.
Also, does this mean that Superman existed in the Skibidi toilet universe, or maybe it was a universe where Clark Kent existed as a human on Earth?
Bro, let's be real.
But that's not the important thing. I think this episode showed us something very important.
He existed
something that we've been being teased a lot in almost every fight against the Astros, and maybe the key to their weakness. I think I have a great theory about this, and I'll talk about it later in the video. But for now, let me just explain what it's overall about. If you go back to the beginning, when the toilets attack the Astro toilet, we see that the Astro toilet gets really agitated, and he actually loses all focus. We know that Astros are technologically more advanced, and because of the speeds they are going at, they definitely have crazy sharp senses. But why didn't the Astro toilet realize the toxic Superman toilet was on his way to him?
I mean, he does have 10
Things
lasers
are not making sense, but once you hear my theory, I think it'll make more sense because everything we've seen so far is pointing to the same conclusion.
I feel like he had enough to worry about.
After this scene, we see another Astro interrupting the Skibidi toilets, and he instantly says, "How dare you resist, traitor scum," with a furious voice. Here you go. Listen to it yourself.
So that's what we hear first. That's so loud in my ears right now. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. That is blasting my eardrums.
This seems like a very average dialogue,
there we go. That's better for me.
Very deep meaning. The fact that he is telling this to the normal toilets shows how much hate he has for the Skibidi toilets. He doesn't just call them traitors, but adds the scum as well.
Yeah, he had to.
They at least acknowledge G-Man toilet as if he was and used to be one of them. But for these normal toilets, they don't even see them as things
that toilet
that should
is
be
crazy,
resisting,
bro.
And he kills them as if they weren't even supposed to even exist in the first place. This deep hatred towards the toilets is actually insane. And as we see more and more footage of Astros fighting,
how's he gonna?
like
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that he didn't.
In a sense of speed,
sense of
every
bro.
possible
There were
way,
so many lasers
as in feelings
and
as
rockets.
Well. I'll talk a lot more about this later in the analysis because it's a pretty big topic, but I genuinely think this might become their biggest weakness, and maybe G-Man knows this too because he also is the same. After the Astro kills probably all the toilets that we saw in the beginning, the POV instantly turns back and starts running alongside of two other cameramen, but the destruction we see is crazy. The place is filled with toilet bodies and maybe even Alliance members' bodies, which we can't see. While running, the cameraman looks at his right to see one of the craziest ding-dong long-leg toilets with a laser mounted inside his mouth, while planes are flying to most likely bomb the Astro toilets on top of it. The POV cameraman enters a small warehouse to hide.
I didn't even see that plane up there.
Are going on, and while he is running, we can see a camera copter crashing down as usual in the background. But suddenly, a toilet with a bunch of broken parts shows up in front of them, and Blood looks scared and just stares at the POV as if someone said English or Spanish to him while the POV pulls out two rocket launchers. This POV is unhinged, bro. But I think what happened here and what'll happen in a few moments show us that the squad we've been watching from the beginning wasn't aware of the team up between the toilets.
Oh, that's true.
Toilet looks more shocked about the fact that the cameraman pulled the rocket launcher.
He was like, wait, we're on the same team, bro.
Which means the team up here has been going for some time, just not enough for everyone in the area to know.
That makes sense.
Also, this squad is not a reinforcement squad, which we know from this large
because he didn't even put up his guns.
2 rocket launchers instead
when
of
he saw
one big
the
laser
toilet
gun and no jetpacks. So maybe the Alliance members who has been out in the wild for a while have no idea what's going on. It's even possible that they already lost their tablets and have been stuck in the city for a while. This gets more clear with what happens later in the episode, after the toilet looks in a very sad way. He suddenly gets rammed by an Astro toilet going light speeds. And not only that, but this Astro literally has a mask that he can control.
That
After
toilet wasn't in on
rockets,
it,
blood
obviously.
opens his mask back on before he shoots the POV cameraman with his lasers.
So he
But
knew
why
he
does
was
look
in
so moisty?
on the Alliance.
Yes, I know it's raining and all the other toilets are like this too, but still, bro, this one has a different shine on it for sure.
I mean, I just think it's because it's raining.
Toilet suddenly gets murked
I don't
by
think
a
it's crazy.
huge Skibidi toilet that looks like an old tank. And when this tank toilet backs up, the POV cameraman looks up and instantly pulls up his rocket launchers. But before he can even shoot, the cameraman next to him beats him to it and uses the stun gun on it, and literally English or Spanishes the toilet into not moving a single inch. Bro's facial expression even looks like the guy from the video.
I thought we were on the same team.
I don't know if Boom did this intentionally, but either way, it's so goofy. I would say whoever doesn't like and subscribe is a TV woman simp, but we all know we all are.
Gotta hit that subscribe button,
after the stun gun attack, 2 reinforcement cameramen with actual upgrades show up from inside the toilet looking confused and
he didn't give that smile, though. You know, I would have pulled up the weapons, too.
They are teaming with them. This definitely proves that only the newly deployed reinforcement
I'd have been
squads
terrified.
knows about the team-ups, but not the old squads. This might actually lead to some confusion on some different areas as well, because it looks like the toilets are pretty well informed about this right now.
I forgot that they were Alliance.
But if they all are,
they were
this
an
would
Alliance.
leave some questions in my mind too, because we don't know how they communicate with their peers outside of direct conversations. Unless there is a way to broadcast it to all Skibidi toilets' minds, I doubt every single toilet knows about the current team-up situation, just like how some cameraman don't know. After the toilet and the cameraman
so only a
inside
select
it leave,
few know.
we see one of the most mysterious scenes in this episode, or maybe even the series. First, we see the POV cameraman look at the cameraman to his right to see his reaction on what just happened.
So I don't even know what's going on, man.
The cameraman is confused too and just shrugs. But they decide to continue on their journey, which leads to them turning to the left, where we see something insane.
Here we go.
While they are turning and moving forward, we can see a bunch of cameramen running for their lives.
I saw that
some dead on the floor, and even one with a wheelchair. At first, it seems like the toilets are chasing the cameraman, but it's actually the Astro toilets chasing both the toilets and the cameraman. And we can even see a cameraman that's holding on to a toilet hanging for his life.
I still don't see an office chair.
At the beginning of this scene, we see the goofy cameraman that got yeeted, which we also saw in the leaks earlier this week. But these were not the important things about this scene. There are actually 2 objects. 2 weird objects that we see here that are very interesting for a very particular reason. The first one, you can probably guess, we once again see a chair.
It's literally right there.
This time,
it was blending
it's
in with
actually
the
a
car.
different chair compared to the one in episode 75 because its shape is
It moved
completely
a little
different.
bit too.
But there is definitely something up with this chair because it moves by itself in a very unconventional way.
Is there somebody in it
I know some
that's
people
invisible?
will call this wind and all that, but there is just
that's
no
not
way.
wind. Because it went
There
back
is
and
zero
forth.
chance Boom is going his far to troll us, bro. The chair definitely has something to it.
There's somebody in that chair.
As far as I know, the chair does not teleport this episode like it did in episode 75.
Look at it, it goes
but the way it moves as if it was trying to hide and panicked is crazy to me.
Or that.
But that's not all, because we have a new object. We don't know anything about this object, and I might be waffling, but before we even see the chair, if you focus and zoom in on the right side of the road, we can see some sort of a plant just moving in a straight line on a flat surface with no wheels,
I didn't even notice that.
No force, simply moving. It stops right after, but isn't this weird objects just moving on their own?
This is kind of weird.
Someone
What is he
making
doing?
these objects move from far away as if
What do
they
you
are
think
using
Boom's
the
doing,
force?
ladies and
Or do
gentlemen?
these
Let me know in the
objects are not
comments any
objects
theories.
at all, but shapeshifters turning into objects to spy on the war that's going on?
Could be
The possibilities
shapeshifters.
are
That's such a
endless,
good
but
theory.
if this plant thing wasn't an error, and if it actually happened, this would mean that. Now
That's
we
a
not
great
only
theory.
should be looking at the chairs, but literally every object that just moves on its own.
Yeah, so anything
And
could
weirdly
be
enough, we
something,
do get
a
a better
person,
look at
maybe.
this plant later in the episode, which I'll show you when we get there, so stay tuned. After we see these objects,
Wait,
the
we get
POV
another look at the
cameraman
chair?
pulls up his rocket launcher to attack one of the Astro troops, and from the looks of it,
Why is the
these
chair so
small
interesting
Astros
to me?
with closable helmets are like the normal troops for Astros, because it's exactly the same as the last one we saw. But even these Astros are incredibly durable. Since this Astro was distracted, the rocket actually does a bit of damage, but with both the stun rays and rockets coming at him at the same time, he gets stunned, just like how any normal Skibidi toilet would, which leads to the POV cameraman breaking the Astro's helmet to remove his protection and stabs his head before stealing his laser gun. But this reveals us something even more strange, which are the tattoos on his head.
Right,
But
I didn't know
before
what that was either.
Look at this laser the large cameraman stole.
Looked like the phase symbol.
This thing looks super high-tech and is definitely some extraterrestrial technology, just like what we thought. The Alliance is definitely stealing this tech and putting it in the lab as soon as possible to study it
Yeah, they're
and
getting some
learn from it
upgrades,
to
though.
improve their own technology. I think we all know that with the Alliance's current state, they have no chance of winning against the Astros even with the toilets.
Nah.
They definitely need to improve their technologies and all the equipment they use. I feel like with this Astro tech we are getting our hands on, we might get to see some crazy Titan upgrades
of a symbol
in the
to like a
future.
full symbol
I don't know
when he
how
got
they'll
back
look
up.
like, but I'm 100%
Do you see
sure
that? Look,
they'll
now
be
it's
crazy.
a full symbol.
And also
Maybe
I
I'm
talked
tripping.
about the durability of the Astros because
Maybe it was
how did
already
this
a full
blood
symbol.
get
I
up
don't know.
seconds after being stabbed in the head like that as if nothing happened? It decides to back off a little to charge up and ram onto the POV cameraman.
That gun
but
takes
it feels
so
like
long
he
to
either
shoot,
has
dude.
lost some power due to all the damage that's been done, or the large cameraman actually shot the laser just a millisecond before the Astro
How many times
hit
I gotta
him
see this guy
because
get
he wasn't
stabbed?
able to kill the POV cameraman, even though I think we all know he should have if the Astro were able to hit the large cameraman with full power. But even this does not stop him because he suddenly gets on top of the large cameraman and says, "Time to die," very slowly, just like how it was said in the ending of the first Blade
Did he
Runner
say
movie.
time to die?
But what about the symbols on his head? Here we can see a weird downwards triangle, and earlier when the POV cameraman was stabbing him, we could see a circle with an X mark on the side of his
Okay,
forehead.
well, I saw that one, but I didn't
What
say
do
anything
these
about
mean?
it. I don't know what
Many
the symbols
people do
are.
think that these are a sign for their
I thought he was
ranks,
gonna say it was a
markings
half
they
one
were given
earlier.
by the Astros. It's not clear if all Astros have these, since I don't think we've seen markings on G-Man toilet nor any other Astro toilet we know yet, but it definitely sounds possible. It's also possible that only lower rank Astros have this because with how they called G-Man Toilet Commander, it's clear that a military-like system is
Could
ran
be.
through the whole Astro race.
Like I said, any
I think
theories,
after we
guys,
see
let me know in
one
the
more
comments.
or a couple more of these symbols, we can definitely figure out their meaning, but so far we only got the first piece of the puzzle. But now it's time to talk about one of the most important things that was literally shoved into our faces about Astros in today's episode. Right before this Astro gets
The
shot
most
by a
important
laser,
thing?
you can literally see him move his eye and react to it, but he doesn't move. Just like how the first Astro toilet in today's episode died to the toxic Superman toilet.
I mean, he
Why is
does,
this?
but like,
I think the Astros actually have enhanced senses.
I feel
But
like
as I
you
said
just saw it
earlier
at
in
the last
analysis,
second. It was too
this
late.
doesn't end with enhanced hearing, speed, reflexes, but also extends to their feelings as well.
I think my boy's
The way
diving
they
a
feel
little too
sadness,
deep into it.
pride,
Look at
hate,
this.
annoyance, and every
Because he
feeling
barely,
you can
he
think of,
looked
most
over and saw
likely
it, but it was
enhanced
already
as
coming
well.
at him.
Because the way they are acting sometimes is even more immature than the Skibidi toilets.
I don't know, bro.
They get distracted very easily, and even though they have the capabilities to react to it because of their extreme sense of hate towards the thing they were distracted by, and
Like,
their
look,
extreme sense of murder
Last
intent,
second. There's no way. He
it
didn't even
seems
have
like
a
they
full second to
freeze and get
react.
killed.
It was like
I don't know if
0.2
this
seconds.
is true, but we saw something similar in episode
Look at this.
75 too. We literally saw the
Boom, boom.
Juggernaut
Okay,
Astro almost cry for a second when he saw the puppy Astro dead, and he went from sad to literally shaking the ground by just shouting because of his anger just like that. But because he was distracted by his emotions and the fact that his child was killed, he missed the opportunity to take revenge on the squad that killed him right there.
I mean, it probably
I don't
surprised him,
think
bro.
normal toilets have this kind of senses. Because from what we've seen, other than G-Man and Scientist
Literally
toilet,
no
there
time.
wasn't really
Like,
any
it was
toilets
an
that we've
immediate
seen
reaction.
who seemed like that could feel like this.
I know they have
G-Man
good
toilet
senses,
definitely
but like,
fits this category because even when TV Woman was controlling Scientist Toilet's body in episode 73, he was hesitant to fight him at first because he felt sad. We literally see this with G-Man in almost any episode or used to because
That's
it
true.
seems like he is actually improving on this issue and is being calmer in his fights overall.
he's becoming
But
more
back
of
in
a
the
savage.
day,
A
bro
calm
would snap
savage.
out of it because of the smallest things and would go crazy. I don't know what you guys think, but even if Boom wasn't intentionally doing this, it feels like it fits everything that's been going on. Also, going back to the topic of the Astro Troop, his toilet setup looks awfully like the plunger cameraman's glitch toilet setup, with the X-wings and all that. Was
It
the
does
glitch
look like
toilet
that.
an experiment by the scientist toilet to replicate the Astro toilet's space warping technology and
It's
speed?
possible.
Seeing this, it seems very possible with all the info we have right now. But even with all that power, this Astro gets obliterated as well. And when he does, we see something on the right side. Something
Is it
that I
the
mentioned
chair
earlier.
again?
A plant. A mini
a
palm
plant.
tree on the side of the road in
Oh,
a
yeah,
city
there
which
he
is
is.
God knows how far away from the beach. What is it doing here?
It's
Why
definitely a
was it moving
shapeshifter, bro.
earlier?
I'm telling you.
There is definitely something
has to
fishy
be.
going on here, and I'm sure we'll solve it soon.
Because why would that plant
Also,
just
when
be on
this
the side of the
Astro
road?
troop's
You know?
head was blown up instead of blood
Moving.
metal particles and spark came out of it, even though we did see there was definitely some blood when he was being stabbed in the head earlier. I don't know what this means, but it does make it seem like they are half robotic, half flesh, or maybe just the lower-ranking Astros are. After the Astro dies, POV turns to his left and is greeted by the reinforcement large cameraman who came to save him. And suddenly, normal Astro troops start showing up out of nowhere,
need to see
which
the
the
big
laser
boy.
large cameraman uses literally
big
one-shots
spider.
them with. But after the first one, 5 Astro troops show up at the same time, and we see some new Alliance tech. I
Yep,
did
that
guess
was
that
pretty
the
cool. It
object
got
the large
obliterated kinda
cameraman
fast,
had on
though.
his arm was a plasma shield in my leaks video, but I did not expect it to be deployable to turn into a big shield. And this shield can actually endure against the Astro troop attacks, which
Yeah, the
means
shield's
if we
kinda
can
sick, I
kill
can't
them
lie.
easily with reinforced equipment and defend against it, it means that we can at least fight against the low-ranked troops
But like
pretty
I said,
easily
it got
if everyone is
obliterated pretty
prepared
quick
well.
with a good
But
weapon.
this small victory doesn't last long because a strider like Astro shows up out of nowhere and one-shots the plasma shield with
Yeah.
one simple laser blast,
And that's not even like a
leaving the
huge
large
toilet.
cameraman out in the open.
It's a pretty cool one.
That leads to the
he's
upgraded
not
Strider
crazy.
camera literally drifting into the scene as cool as possible and shoots the Astros.
Upgraded
It's
camera
unclear
spider.
if the Strider like Astro was killed at first because it went off screen, but after the Strider camera kills of the last 2
Dang.
Astro troops, he turns to
Dang.
his right to charge up his laser and finish off the Strider Astro,
That guy was
showing who
terrified.
the superior Strider is. It's also very possible that this Strider camera is the same one from episode
We haven't seen
72,
him in
part
so
1,
long.
because at the end of the full version
72?
of episode 72,
How long was that ago?
we did see the scientist cameraman finding the destroyed Strider camera and give him a thumbs up. I guess this was foreshadowing the fact that he'd actually fix and upgrade it to use it as his new mech because the last one was destroyed.
Probably.
I honestly
It was
didn't
the
see
same
this
white
one
suit
coming,
guy.
and props to Boom. It's such a cool idea. And right before the end, we see the reveal of the scientist toilet being the controller of the Strider, and he gives us a thumbs up ending the episode.
The scientist toilet.
Don't forget this was just part 1, and with how the last 2 episodes been, I think the upcoming episodes will keep getting crazier.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with him. It's just gonna keep getting crazier, and as we've seen, it's gonna keep getting better. Any theories you guys have, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching with me. I will see you tomorrow. I love y'all. Goodbye.